A former Death Row Records artist, RBX, has filed a major class action lawsuit against Spotify, accusing the streaming giant of allowing large scale, fraudulent activity that artificially inflated streaming numbers for certain artists, most notably Drake. RBX, a cousin of Snoop Dogg and a veteran of the West Coast hip hop scene, claims Spotify turned a blind eye to billions of fake streams generated through bots, VPNs, and illegitimate accounts. The lawsuit argues that Spotify's negligence has harmed independent artists, songwriters, and rights holders by diluting their royalty payments under the platform's pro rata payment model, which divides total revenue according to total stream counts each month. The 45-page complaint highlights how the fraudulent activity allegedly benefited Spotify financially by boosting user metrics and advertising revenue, while simultaneously increasing its market valuation. RBX contends that Spotify has intentionally underinvested in fraud detection systems to keep costs low and to maintain inflated streaming numbers that appeal to investors. According to the lawsuit, between January 2022 and September 2025, Drake's catalog accumulated approximately 37 billion streams, securing his position as Spotify's most streamed artist. However, RBX's team alleges that a substantial portion of these streams were not organic. The lawsuit presents data showing unusual streaming patterns, such as clusters of streams from non-residential or inactive regions, and massive volumes of activity coming from a small number of user accounts that ran songs nearly non-stop. RBX's lawyers claim that this manipulation undermines fair competition within the music industry. In one
with one
striking
another,
example,
deploying some
analytics
very
reportedly
sketchy
revealed
things to
that
say the least. And
250,000
based off her line
streams
of
of
questioning,
Drake's
it's in relation to
2024
stake.
single No Face were rerouted from Turkey to the UK via VPNs in a single day, indicating deliberate attempts to bypass regional filters. The lawsuit stresses that Spotify's inaction allowed this kind of manipulation to flourish, and that such fraudulent practices diverted royalties worth hundreds of millions of dollars from smaller independent creators to artists with inflated statistics. While Drake himself is not named as a defendant, his name appears repeatedly in the complaint as a major beneficiary of Spotify's alleged inaction. Spotify responded to the allegations by denying any wrongdoing and claiming that it does not benefit from streaming fraud. The company insisted that it employs best-in-class systems for detecting and preventing fake plays, including automated removal of fraudulent streams, withholding of royalty payments, and suspension of accounts engaged in such practices. Spotify also pointed to a 2024 Department of Justice case involving a $10 million streaming fraud ring, asserting that only a small fraction of that amount came from Spotify, which they argued demonstrated the effectiveness of their fraud prevention. However, critics argue that these safeguards are outdated, as AI-driven botting tools have evolved faster than Spotify's detection systems. The lawsuit comes amid growing concerns across the music industry about the impact of artificial streaming. According to independent fraud detection firms, as much as 10% of all global music streams may be fake, siphoning billions of dollars in potential revenue away from legitimate artists each year.